rundown. We'll break down the highs, the lows, and the historical moments that went down at the Grammys. The director of The Woman King is calling out the Academy for continuing to overlook black women, plus news on Beyoncé, Madonna, and Drag Race on The Rundown with your host, Chris Avalon.
Cue the sniper.
Ooh, I had to sit up straight before we got started. Well, wagwan my oat. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to The Rundown, the sassiest and messiest talk show that is currently on your screens, on your phone, and on the motherfucking internet. Now, for those of y'all who are tuning in for the first time, The Rundown is basically a show where I break down all the juiciest headlines and entertainment. So grab yourselves a drink, a snack, a blunt, or whatever makes you feel nice and cozy, and let's get into this good old gig. Now, before we get into this week's tea, do not forget to smash that like and subscribe button with help, which was going to basically will help with the algorithm, and be sure to follow all my social media platforms, which you can see appearing any minute down below. Down below. Well, if you saw that opening, you already know what to expect. We're going to be talking a lot about the Grammys. A lot of stuff has transpired within the past 6 days, since the Grammys happened. And so, a lot of stuff was going on behind the scenes, a lot of things that were going on. So we're definitely going to be breaking down a lot of the stuff, and I'm going to give my opinions on the Grammys. Plus, we have some tea on Madonna. We're going to talk about J-Lo and Ben Affleck and that whole awkward situation that happened at the Grammys with them. It's still making the rounds, still making the news. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Beyonce and her partnership with Adidas. Apparently, the things ain't selling, the fashions ain't selling. So we're gonna talk about that. And we in the midst of Fashion Week. Fashion Week just kicked off on Thursday. So this is a good thing to bring up about, the fashions, because Fashion Week is in full effect in New York. So what way to bring it up than talking about Beyonce. Plus we got some news on Drag Race, which I know the children's is happy. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Plus Malaysia Babydoll Fox. Child, I forgot her name, but that just goes to show how relevant she is on the show. No shade. But some of y'all ain't really bringing what need to be brought, except this past, last night's episode, Malaysia and Mistress got into a little, got into it. I didn't watch the Roscoe's video yet, so I don't know, because, they like to reveal a lot of the behind-the-scenes tea on what transpired. So we'll talk a little bit about that later on. Hold on, let me, I usually, we do a whole run through thing to make sure I am in alignment with the camera. So we good. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot of historical moments that happened with the Grammys. We got, and all that and a whole lot more. So without further ado, because I don't want to keep rambling. So let's get into some things. So, topic number one, of course, is the Grammys. So, the Grammys aired, and I basically have to say, in my opinion, it was the most entertaining show that I have seen in quite a while. And if you were paying attention or not, that's what I'm here for. A lot of history was made during the ceremony as well. Now, a huge congratulations to Viola Davis, who became an EGOT winner with her memoir, Finding Me, which won Best Spoken Word Album. Also, sidebar, we are going to get into some Viola Davis tea later on, because that's how I should have mentioned, but since we're talking about her. The director of The Woman King, Gina Prince Bythewood, who directed another movie that I love on Netflix that I'm hoping we get. Can y'all hurry up with the damn sequel the Charlize Theron, where she played an immortal? Oh my God, and I had it in the tip of my head and I damn forgot the name of it. The Old Guard. I'm hoping we get in the Old Guard part 2. Netflix get on that. But anyway, she directed that movie. She directed The Woman King, and she got some things to say about the Academy and that whole thing. Because we did allude to it a couple of weeks ago, where we talked about how A lot of Black artists continue to get overlooked with the Oscars, and there was an actress from a certain movie that they felt was cutting corners and kind of where she and Danielle Deadweiler should have been able to get nominated, but they didn't because of so we'll break that story down later on in the show. But let's get down to the Grammys because there's a lot of TV we got to talk about with that. So, and Lizzo, yes, bitch, had me tap dancing and testifying like a pastor on the pulpit over her hilarious but inspiring winning speech. Now, I also want to give a huge congratulations to Kim Petras and Sam Smith for their historical win. Now, you know, she did gag the audience by proclaiming she was the first transgender woman to win a Grammy in her category, which was Best Pop Duo or Group. But technically, I would have to say that Kim was not the first trans woman to win a Grammy. It was for her category, and she was the first trans woman to to actually perform live at the Grammys. Openly trans, I should say. Now, the first queen, and I did a whole TikTok video on it. You can head out and check out my TikTok at the Chris Avalon. So the first trans woman to actually win a Grammy was someone by the name of Wendy Carlos. Her album Switch on Bach came out in 1969, and she went on to compose the soundtracks for The Shining and A Clockwork Orange. Now, I should say, when she won the Grammys, 3 Grammys in 1969, Wendy did not come out publicly as trans until 10 years later. So 1979 is when she officially came out publicly as a trans woman, but was living in secret, even going as far as like putting facial hair on her and all that other stuff to give illusion that because she didn't want everybody to know that she was transitioning. Now, speaking of trans icons, I should point out that house music icon Honey Dijon, who also, as I said, identifies as trans, snagged a Grammy for her work on Beyonce's Renaissance album. Now, Bey won in the Best Dance Electronic Music Recording category, among others. Now, I should point out with that, I can't remember, who was the last Black woman to win that category, or was she the first? Because, quiet as it's kept, house music is Black music, and that's why I love the fact that in Beyonce's speech, she had to let them hoes know. She was like, I want to thank the queer community for inventing this genre. And the genre is house. Black queer people created house music. So yeah, you have your David Guettas and you got all these other white people that get praised, which David Guetta, shout out to you. You are an icon. I won't take that away from you. You just got your flowers over at the Brit Awards tonight. So congratulations to you. Speaking of which, Harry Styles cleaned up over there too. But I'm going to get to him in a minute. And Lizzo performed, a bunch of other people. Beyonce won a couple of awards over at the Brit Awards tonight too. So yeah, there's a lot of awards going on. And the Brit Awards is basically the Grammys over in England. It's their version of the Grammys. Now, speaking of Beyonce, with her 4 out of 9 Grammy wins, the pop music icon officially became the GOAT of the Grammys, with a total of 32 awards that she has won thus far throughout her 20-plus year career. That makes her the most decorated winner alive. And yeah, so congratulations to her because she definitely made history that night. Now, as for the performances, Bad Bunny opened the show, so I was feeling that. And I have to say, when Bad Bunny, because first I wasn't expecting Bad Bunny to open the show. I knew he was going to perform, but I didn't know they was going to have him open. Excuse me. Where he basically performed Titi Me Pregunto and Después de la Playa. So, and I also love the fact that, you know, he brought a lot of the culture. So it was a lot of Afro-Caribbean beats. There was a lot of dancing. The people was uptight in the audience. But shout out to Taylor Swift, because, you know, Taylor Swift, regardless of the situation, that chick will always make sure she having a good-ass time in the audience. I know a lot of people eye roll it, but I embrace it now. Before, she used to get on my damn nerves. I was like, if this little skinny white bitch will sit her ass down somewhere and just watch the show. But then again, I'm like, you know what? Now that I've gotten older, and I guess I'm used to seeing Taylor always standing up and doing this and the other, I look at it as she's someone who basically cheers people on. She loves music. She can, you know, she's very out with her peers. Like, she loves music. The industry, politics, all other crap to the side. The one thing I love about her is that she's a cheerleader for other artists in the industry. So I like it. And she gives it, so basically like what Robert says, is that Taylor's a fan of music. So, and I love that because too many people be up in there up damn tight, which I noticed in that audience, a lot of y'all was uptight. Don't even get me started on Ben Affleck stoic ass. We're going to get on him in a minute. But let's talk a little bit about that Bad Bunny performance, because I have to admit, when I was watching the performance, I literally started crying. I kid you not. The tears started coming. I'm like, why am I feeling so emotional? I get so emotional. But I knew why I was crying. I think it's because this is something that I've never experienced on TV. I've never seen someone who basically is a Puerto Rican artist, or a Latin artist, I should just say, who speaks nothing but Spanish, did not have to compromise his culture, who he is, to cross over into the Anglo market. Because if y'all remember back, let's take it back to like 99, 2000, that whole era. The Latin explosion. Where we had Enrique Iglesias, Jennifer Lopez, who's still making music, but let's just Mark Anthony, Ricky Martin, Shakira, a lot of them, and even Gloria Estefan, but Gloria Estefan was before all of them. But let's just keep it within that whole pool. And then, so, you know, they had, because Gloria's from the 80s with Miami Sound Machine, so I didn't really want to put her in that. But then again, I guess we can include her because it kind of does fit within that. So the thing with them is that they were on white people terms. So their success was based on America letting you come in their circle. We're going to embrace this trend of Latin music in the Anglo market. And when it's we have no use for y'all and this, that, and the third, then we're going to just like, we could just put it out to pasture. Kind of like ballroom. Remember back when Madonna was at the epicenter of bringing ballroom into the mainstream? It was cute or whatever for a moment. And I'm sure the gays thought, we was going to come out the hood and we was going to go from the hood to Hollywood. Yeah, you got to do that for a moment. And then white people moved on to the next big trend. It wasn't Madonna's fault. She saw something from the underground and brought it into the mainstream and after that she moved on. The same thing with, I feel like, the Latin explosion was like they saw opportunity. All these Latin artists came in and did what they did. And then when the white people was done, they just kind of put y'all out the path. Like, okay, we on to the next trend. And it's unfortunate. So I love the fact that what Bad Bunny is a winner on his own terms. He's basically was like, I'm going to do what I do. And you can either come on board or not. And it hit Usher. And it's like the mainstream industry could not deny the fact that he has a hold on the culture, meaning he could sell out stadiums, he could travel all over America, and he has a huge following. He could perform at a gas station in Puerto Rico and people will show up. You know, he could do all these things, and it's like he is this beacon of light on the culture, and these white folk looking like, the fuck is going on? We got to pay attention to this shit. So let's give him a Grammy, because you can't deny the fact that, yes, his albums, not just album, creeped up on the Billboard Top 100 and was in the top 10. The album before this one, Ouvrant City, that went to number 2, and then Ouvrant City is actually the album that went to number 1. So Bad Bunny was here doing something. But the main point of what I'm trying to get to is the fact that, so I'm in tears, all emotional, watching this performance because it was everything. But why the hell on my damn TV, they put this shit speaking non-English while he's performing? We know he wasn't speaking English because obviously he don't speak English in his music. So the peoples was mad. I looked at it, I shook my head, I kept going with the performance, but I didn't think much of it. But then days went by. I did post the picture on my social media, which sparked a conversation, as I usually like to do. So what I want to get to is there's a point where this is going. So the president of CBS and CEO, George Cheeks, spoke out on this whole situation, as well as addressing it. So following the show, U.S. Representative Robert Garcia, who's a Democrat in California, wrote a letter to CBS President and CEO George Cheeks, according to Variety. In a letter, Garcia wrote that the era displays a lack of sensitivity and foresight for too many Spanish-speaking Americans. It felt disrespectful of our place in our shared society and of our contributions to the shared culture. For the hearing-impaired community, this failure was hurtful. Because I'm sure there's a lot of deaf Spanish-speaking people that listen to Bad Bunny, I think. Do deaf people listen to music? I always wonder that. How do they hear music? Somebody asked, somebody asked Stevie Wonder, but Stevie's not deaf, he's blind. What is wrong with me? Lord Jesus, I got the man with only 3 senses instead of 4. He blind and deaf. Now that was Helen Keller, child. But anyway, so Cheeks has since responded to the letter, noting that CBS is taking measures to make sure no similar incidences take place in the future. Now, according to a report from Variety, CBS is set to review its practices for closed captioning live events, saying regrettably errors were made with respect to the closed captioning of its performance and subsequent acceptance speech. We worked with a closed captioning vendor that did not execute at a standard to which we should rightfully be held. Regardless, we should have monitored the situation more closely. A bilingual English and Spanish language real-time live captioner should have been utilized, and the words used on the screen were insensitive to many. He also continued by saying, our teams are now re-examining the closed captioning process for all live entertainment events on the network to ensure we properly capture Spanish language content. We will keep you updated regarding our efforts on this matter. Well, in a way, I'm glad this is being addressed. It's insane to me how you had someone who you knew was going to perform in Spanish and was going to win, because I'm sure the CEO knows who's going to win, child. Or they all know who's going to win, and he's going to get up there and perform and give a speech. Because Bad Bunny speaks English, but English is not his first language, and he's not going to speak complete English. Because I remember when he was on The View, he spoke English for the most part, but at certain points he had to speak Spanish. And then Sonny Asuncion had to get up there and translate for them who didn't understand. And I believe that they had the closed caption was translating what he was saying on the episode, if I'm not mistaken. Because I on my TV, I closed caption everything. Yeah, I'm at that point in my life where I need closed captioning. It's like, because I always want to make sure that I capture everything that the people are saying. And sometimes people be talking so fast, or I can't capture everything, so I need to read it. I know it's a little distracting, but I love subtitles and I love closed captions, so it definitely works in my favor. So, where else? What else happened? Because it was so much that went on that night. I did love Lizzo's performance. Harry Styles, the As It Was performance. I saw him perform that song again tonight on the Brit Awards. I have to say his Grammy performance is way better. That's all I'll say on that. But I have to say, the 50 Years of Hip Hop tribute featuring appearances from LL Cool J, Big Boy, De La Soul, DJ Dazzy Jeff, Missy Elliott, Grandmaster Flash, Grandmaster Melly Mel, and Scorpio, Ice-T, Meth Bed, Nelly, Public Enemy, Queen Latifah, Rakim, Run DMC, Salt and Pepper, The Lox, Busta Rhymes, Little Baby, and Glorilla. Bitch, that performance was everything. But I did wonder, what happened why wasn't Lil' Kim and Nas or Nicki Minaj and any of them asked to perform? I mean, say what you want about Nicki, but Nicki did change the culture. She did bring female rap further into the mainstream, but before there was competition, all other stuff. Lil' Kim basically defined a genre of slut rap, being out there, bringing the fashions and talking about sucking dick and all that other stuff, and Louis Vuitton and fashion, all that other stuff. Why didn't you have Lil' Kim there before? She was at the Rock Nation brunch. So why wouldn't they asking her to perform? I understand. I heard that the thing was supposed to be longer, the performance, but I don't know. I didn't produce the show, but so yeah. I was also over there. And then also I was like, why didn't they have Jay-Z perform? They had him sitting in the audience like he was a damn fan. I'm like, Jay-Z literally is like the number one, according to Billboard, the number one rapper excuse me, of all time. Okay, girl. So you had that whole situation. He should have got there before. I understand they had him perform that song with DJ Khaled, that Culture Vulture. But here's the thing. I didn't even look at his performance. It was like after I saw who won Album of the Year and they left DJ Khaled to close the show, I was like, oh, this is like the gays after Drag Race when they turn off the real gays of WeHo. I could just turn off Khaled. I can't take him. First of all, he's annoying. Him with that goddamn lighter that was in the audience. Why is he a thing? Somebody point that out to me. Also, sidebar, there was a lot of people calling out the Grammys this week. Fat Joe called out the Grammys because, well, let's not jump the boom boom gun. If you know what I'm saying, I think you do. If you've been following me on social media, you know why I said the boom boom gun line. But let's talk about the Album of the Year before we get to what Fat Joe said. So the peoples was mad. We could thank Jay-Z for DJ Khaled. Wait, can we thank Fat Joe? Because wasn't he with him first? Wasn't he part of the Terror Squad? Before, he started sound like he showed us like, we the best. That's what I hear when he talk. Anyway, let's talk about Beyonce and the whole Album of the Year thing. People were upset, particularly the Beehive, and I said, I feel so bad for Harry Styles because y'all gonna go after this boy. First of all, he don't control who wins Grammys. The peers vote. And we gonna break down in a minute the Sade about the anonymous Grammy voters and how they cast their ballots. Cause bitch, when y'all hear how that whole situation, and I'm sure probably some of y'all heard, but we gonna break it down, child. And I'm gonna get my opinions. So, do I think Harry Styles deserved Album of the Year? I did listen to the album, and I will say this. The album is pretty good. Harry Styles definitely did his thing on this album. The songs are catchy. There's a lot of emotion going on there. He sang his ass off on that album. I'm like, ooh, sonically, it sounds amazing in the ears. Very much a lot of ear candy. So, Harry Styles is definitely a talent. Sidebar, shout out to Harry for thanking One Direction, because he did that in his Brit Award speech, where he thanked all the members, because he said, if it wasn't for y'all, I would not be where I am today. So we shouted out Zayn and them, all the other ones who don't have a career. One of them knocked up Cheryl Cole. No, that's the drag queen, Cheryl Cole. Then the other one, what was it? Then the other one knocked up Gigi Hadid and going through issues with her. Supposed to be releasing a new album, Zayn. I don't know what happened to Niall and the other one. Or is Niall the one that knocked up Cheryl Cole? I can't remember. All them white people, or is it Louis? I be confused. Who, some of y'all, no shade, but some of y'all want to be looking. I'm like, but I do love Harry Styles' album. So don't sleep on him and don't throw shade or tomatoes. Production say he loves Harry Styles' album too. I like the album. The album's pretty good. But anyway, so here's what I thought. I thought it was either going to be between Renaissance and Bad Bunny. To me, I felt like the one who really had the biggest, that deserved Album of the Year, and who really had a good year, was Bad Bunny, because no one shifted and changed the culture like he did. Yes, Beyonce did her thing in regards of bringing the black gay situation into the fold in regards of giving black queer artists a platform, but I expected Benito to win. That's why I like calling him, that's my boo thing, Benito. Lindsay and I be fighting over Bad Bunny because she loves her some Benito too. But I expected that album to win because it was like nobody shifted and changed the culture the way he did. Yeah, Beyonce made a little noise with Renaissance, but it wasn't as loud as Benito's latest album. And it was just like, the album was really good. you know, he was turning it out and his tours and all other stuff, the way he would just travel all over the world. He did 2 tours in a year, 2 separate tours. Traveled all over the world, sold out everywhere in the United States. So I expected him to win. I didn't know Harry Styles was going to win. We're going to break that down with the whole thing with, but let me get all this other Grammy stuff out the way first. And if y'all want to see the full winners list, y'all can definitely go to my website. I'm not going to sit here and just break it down because we'll be here all damn night, y'all. So, so Lizzo won Record of the Year. I do want to point this out. So the last person I believe that won Record of the Year was, I believe it was Whitney Houston. They said the last person to win Album of the Year, Black woman wise, was Lauryn Hill. But Record of the Year, the last artist was Whitney Houston. I think for I Will Always Love You. That's a long damn time. That's 1992. Isn't that 12 years? I mean, 20, 30 something odd years. Oh, yeah, another thing. That whole Bonnie Raitt shade, thank you for reminding me. That was some bullshit, because I seen on, what was it? The Daily Mail, that tired-ass website, talking about who's Bonnie Raitt. Nobody knows who shit. First of all, bitch, y'all need to know that music has existed past the year you were available or known to even realize that music actually exists on your radar. So I don't know what age that is. Now here's the thing. Bonnie Raitt was before my time too, but I know who the hell she is because when I was a kid and I grew up listening to music, in the mornings we could never listen to like top 40 pop music because my mother knows when we were getting ready for school, my ass would be up in there jamming to all the songs and I would never be getting ready. I would never get ready for school on time. So what she did was she would put on the Light FM station, 106.7 WLTW. I remember like it was yesterday. And we had to listen to the Linda Ronstadt, the Kenny Rogers, the Bonnie Raitt. That's what I had to listen to growing up. So I knew all those artists. Elton John. I can't stand that queen, but I had to listen to that growing up. I couldn't listen to Madonna and Lisa and Noel and Cora. I came up in the era of freestyle and things of that nature. So I had to listen to a lot of the light music. I had to listen to a lot of things that my mother thought that we weren't getting. But of course, being grown up a music kid, all the music was good to me. So it was just in a way. I don't think she realized it, but it just opened me up to different styles of music, which is why I listen to all different types of music now. So it basically shaped who I am. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to point that out. But the whole thing with people talk about who's Bonnie Raitt and how she went Song of the Year. Easy. They said it's a good damn song. I haven't heard it, but the people said it's a good song. Speaking of which, so let's get into this thing with J-Lo, and then we'll talk about Madonna. So, there was a viral clip that was going around with J-Lo and her husband of nearly 7 months. Ben Affleck. I've lost track of how many times they haven't been married, but they've been together 7 months. So, people were saying that they had a tense exchange while Trevor Noah was hosting. Not J-Lo on her beard. First of all, Bennifer, y'all are a cackle to me. It just didn't feel like he even wanted to, the look on his face the whole night and the memes and the he looked like he didn't want to be there. So let's play this clip and then we'll come back because production was getting the clip as I was running my mouth. So now that we got it, let's play it.
I gotta go. All right. No, mom. It wasn't the actual devil. No, they were just dressed as.
Yeah, she looked right at the camera and said, "Ooh, bitch, we on camera, girl." Yes, the camera people was shady because they were looking for shady moments that whole night. They definitely were. The camera people was on it. So shout out to y'all for capturing some of the moments that we were definitely loving. Speaking of which, and then you also heard like there was a whole the first 45 minutes to an hour, everybody was like, "Where's Beyonce? How the hell she stuck in traffic what route was you taking that you couldn't follow the rest of the people that was getting you there? They were probably trying to stuff her in that damn foil, that dress that looked like it was made out of foil. Because I didn't like that gown on her. Great gowns, beautiful gowns, in the words of the iconic Aretha Franklin. I did not like that ugly ass two-tone foil gown that they wrapped her ass in. Now, Beyonce is in great shape. You know, the curves and the titties and everything is there, but that outfit just wasn't giving. Which probably makes sense why nobody's buying her fashion. But we'll get into that in a moment. So, with the whole J-Lo and Ben Affleck thing, if they were having an intense moment, they're a couple. Shit happens. People in relationships bicker and fight all the time. Oh, I should perform. I should perform. I should perform. You know. Stevie Wonder and Chris Stapleton and that whole Motown tribute, that was another great performance of the night. I should point that out. I forgot about that. Sam Smith and Kim Petras, their performance, Unholy. I'm going to be honest. The Brit Awards performance, in my opinion, was way better than their Grammy performance. It was giving Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome meets Body Shop, like the Body Shop section of Madonna's Rebel Heart tour. That's kind of what it was giving me, because they had the cars and the garage and everything set up there. Then they had all this pyrotechnics, and then they had like a car that was kind of like pop locking and dropping. I was like, "Ooh, we on the West Coast? Y'all popping cars out here?" But yeah, it was a good performance. The only problem I have with Unholy is that the song feels so anticlimactic. Like, it looked like it was built for TikTok. Like, it's over before it even gets going. And I think that's an irritation that I have with a lot of music these days. So yeah, what else? So let's talk about Madonna, who took to social media to clap back at the trolls who were making nasty comments about her recent appearance at the 2023 Grammys. Now, on Tuesday, the Like a Prayer singer posted some of her favorite moments from music's biggest night. She posted with Cardi B and Sam Smith and shared an NSFW kiss with artist Dopey. AB Soul and DJ Honey Dijon also made cameos in the risque footage. Now, in the caption, she opened up about introducing Smith and Kim Petras, both 30, before their Unholy performance on Sunday night, which made Petras the first ever trans woman to take the stage at the event. Now, here's what she said, because I don't think her face looked that bad to me. I mean, you could definitely tell she looked a little blowfish-ish in the picture, like there's some fillers, but her face did not look as bad as, they were trying to make it out to be. And the pictures of her looking like Jigsaw, all of that shit was unnecessary. So she said, "It was an honor for me to introduce Kim Petras and Sam Smith at the Grammys. I wanted to give the last award, which was Album of the Year, but I thought it was more important that I present the first ever trans woman performing at the Grammys, a history-making moment. And on top of that, she won a Grammy. Instead of focusing on what I said in my speech, which was about giving thanks for the fearlessness of artists like Sam and Kim, many people chose to only talk about close-up photos of me taken with a long lens camera by a press photographer that would distort anyone's face. Once again, I am caught in the glare of ageism and misogyny that permeates the world we live in. A world that refuses to celebrate women past the age of 45 and feels the need to punish her if she continues to be strong-willed, hardworking, and adventurous. I have never apologized for any of the creative choices I have made, nor the way that I look or dress, and I'm not going to start. I have been degraded by the media since the beginning of my career, and I understand that this is all a test. Push your love to the test. And I am happy to do the trailblazing so that all the women behind me can have an easier time in the years to come. In the words of Beyonce, you won't break my soul. I look forward to many more years of subversive behavior, pushing boundaries, standing up to the patriarchy, and most of all, enjoying my life. Bow down, bitches. Now, let's unpack what she said there. So, I agree with some things that Madonna said, and now that I've sat and thought about it. And then there's some things that I don't agree with. Now, are we going to sit and blame a photographer with a long lens on why your face looks the way it does. Now, there are some people, in my opinion, that are older than Madonna that have had immense work done, but they look really good. Who are those people, you ask? I mean, Cher, Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, they all look pretty good for their ages, and they're like in their 70s and 80s. I think the majority of them is in their 80s. Even Joy Behar looks good. And Joy is like, what, 82? So you could have done a little filler, a little Restylane, a little Botox here and there. But I feel like sometimes, in a way, I feel like Madonna loves the attention. And don't get me wrong, I hate when people say, you need to age gracefully. She should just age gracefully. First of all, y'all know y'all full of shit with that because you don't want women to age gracefully. You don't. You would rather, because if she decided tomorrow, let me stop putting all that shit in my face and let me look like the way I look, with her with the butt pads and all that other stuff. First of all, them shits look ridiculous. I don't know why she put them in there. She looked fine the way she was. I even think when Madonna was in her, before she even turned 60, like in her 50s, she looked amazing. We saw her on all the tours. She was still looking good. She was doing little things here and there, but I guess it wasn't giving her enough attention. I think Madonna is addicted to the attention. It's dopamine fix. So she likes all of that. So she knows, because I'm sure the doctors will tell her, if you want to get some filler in that face, you got to give it 2 weeks before it settles. She probably got that shit done a day before, knowing damn well she'll go out the house looking like a blowfish. Or looking like Flounder from The Little Mermaid. And then, people start talking. She loves the attention. So I don't want Madonna to sit up in here and try to act like she's so damn innocent in this whole situation. We're going to blame misogyny. Now, there are people who are misogynistic, and I do get it because I read the comments and people was calling her old and hanging up grandma and grandonna, grandma Donna. I saw that, all these other, derogatory names. So it's like, yeah, you're being ageist. So there is validity in certain things that she was saying. But we can't just completely blame everything on misogyny and ageism. Sometimes we got to take ownership for our stuff too. Like if you look crazy, you can't tell people that they can't comment. You can leave your comments, and I'm sure it hurts. But at the end of the day, another thing what the people need to realize is y'all don't have to live with that face. She got to wake up every morning to looking like the way she looked. So why do y'all care? And why is it that we celebrate, and I live for her, but why do we celebrate Amanda Lepore, but y'all shading Madonna? And Amanda Lepore is an icon in our community, so I don't get the, whatever. And there's men out here that look a certain way, but y'all don't be saying that y'all don't get that way the same energy, so I get that. So at the end of the day, I just close this out to say, if it ain't affecting you, why the hell do y'all care? The woman's an icon and she's going to do whatever the hell she want to do, whether you like it or not. So shout out to Madonna. Now, we were talking earlier about the Hip Hop 50-year Grammy tribute. But we should also mention that Dr. Dre, who is an icon in the hip hop community, was given the Global Impact Award by LL Cool J. And one person that is talking out about him is none other than Dee Barnes. And shout out to her, because, she's been talking about him for a long damn time. And there's been people that's been trying to shut her up and shut her down. Now, in an extensive interview with Rolling Stone, Barnes addressed the Recording Academy's decision to give Dre the Global Impact Award. As Barnes revealed not long after the alleged incident happened, and has reiterated numerous times throughout the years, Dre assaulted her at a record release party in Hollywood in January 1991 after she hosted an episode of Pump It Up that focused on the tension between Dre's group NWA and Ice Cube, who left the group in 1989. And here's what she said. She said, Everybody wants to separate the art from the artist, and sometimes that's just not possible. Most people without a knowledge of Dr. Dre's history are going to say, oh, he must deserve that. He must be such a great person for them to put an award in his name. But they named the award after an abuser. This is what she told the magazine. She says, it wasn't just a 1 or 2 time thing. These are choices. The first time, it's maybe a mistake. The second time, okay. The third time, it's a choice. I'm not saying that he is the same person now, though I don't know. I'm not around him anymore. I haven't talked to him. But to name an award after someone with that type of history in the music industry, you might as well call it the Ike Turner Award. Oh, not Ike Turner. What do you say to that? Because you know what? Because there was and I posted it on my page if you want to see it, because, you know, they erased it from YouTube. There was an interview that Dee Barnes did with Wendy Williams back in the day. I think it was like maybe a couple of years ago. I don't remember when. Maybe 2, maybe 3 years ago. Before the show ended. Where Dee went, and I think she wrote a book and got into detail about what had happened at that party. How Dr. Dre grabbed her in front of everybody by the hair and beat her in front of them. Like, literally, like she said, the Ike Turner Award. Beat her in front of all them people. A guy trying to intervene, that was someone I guess she was talking to, and the security that was with Dr. Dre pistol whipped that guy, gave him a busted lip, broken tooth, the whole shebang. She said she gathered herself because she was feeling dizzy, went into the bathroom, to, I guess, get herself together. Dr. Dre followed her into the bathroom. And that's when she started to break down, in between Wendy not learning when to shut the fuck up and let the lady tell her damn story, because she was getting on my nerves with all the damn interruptions. And she went and said that she alluded to that there may have been a sexual assault involved, which is basically what Ike Turner did to Tina up against that damn fish tank. Remember that? When the people left? So you out here pulling, you know, thinking you Ike Turner, you out here raping girls, allegedly. And beating women. Not alleged, because Misha Lay said he did it to her. And wasn't there another artist that Dr. Dre, you know, beat, that was, I think he was messing with? The man has a history of abusing women. So like she said, she doesn't know if he is that way today. He may have changed. He may have evolved. But that doesn't negate the fact that, you know what? This man has a history. And we can't just bypass the things that he's done. So, shout out to D. It says also, because I was trying to see if there was anything else that I needed to say on that. He said that he smashed her face into a wall, and then he was kicking her and all the other stuff. So yeah, forgot to bring that up too. So if you want to read that whole article, you can go to my website, because it goes into explicit detail of what has happened. It says not just the Grammys that haven't supported or heard her, though, as Barnes stressed that the hip-hop community has failed to support her, saying, when I think of what atonement looks like for Dre and me, I think of a missed opportunity where we could have sat down together on camera and hashed it out. I think that we would have begun a journey of healing. He's coming face-to-face with me, and I'm coming face-to-face with him. I've put out the olive branch. Black women and Grace, you know how we are. It wasn't accepted. Well, here's the thing. Dr. Dre is all about, you know, his beats and doing all the other stuff that he wants to do. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and that, you know, I'm not surprised that the hip hop community hasn't come to her defense, because a lot of people's like, it ain't happened to me. Why should I care? And I'm trying to get that bag. I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to make it in this industry. So I'm not gonna go against Dr. Dre. You know how much power he has. You know, his connection with Jimmy Iovine, who pretty much was running all of Interscope, and majority of the artists was on that. So when you have people in powerful positions, a lot of these people aren't going to rock the boat. They don't want to get pistol whipped like that man did by Dre's security. which is sad and unfortunate, but this is just the way this industry is. It's very crabs in a barrel. All right, so our final Grammy tea before we go, is let's talk about this whole situation in regards of the voting academy of the Grammys. Because, like I said, the fans was upset. The Beehive was upset because Harry Styles won Album of the Year. You got 48 hours or 24 hours, whatever, to give Beyonce that award. Beyonce is not pressed over not getting Album of the Year. And Fat Joe, alluded to something that, they love to. Well, let me hold on to that because I feel like it would make more sense if we talked about everything else, and then I can assert what he said into the situation. So apparently now, because there was an interview that was done with Variety, where we may have some insight into the politics behind the Grammy voting strategy. And in my opinion, I feel like it's kind of shady. Now, shout out to Hot New Hip Hop for this tea. So a group of industry professionals who voted for this year's Grammys was grilled by Variety, and their comments about their choices set off the internet. Now, several of the anonymous voters openly admitted they steered clear of voting for artists like Beyonce or Adele because, well, they've won so much already. The conversations with the voters surrounded the top 4 categories of the night: Best New Artist, Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Album of the Year. A person described a Grammy-winning producer engineer who has been a voter for almost 20 years, explained their choices. They claimed they voted for Lizzo for Record of the Year because of her impact, saying they also seem tired of Bey always being on top. Saying, I felt very strongly that Lizzo has changed this culture a lot. That's what they told Variety. About Damn Time was a great track that everyone responded to. I also look at who's been there and go, okay, Adele, Beyonce, they always win. It's the same people over and over again. So I went for Lizzo. The person further admitted that they were out of touch with where the Academy is right now. My point exactly. So let's pause right there and break that down. Let's break down each one. Because I don't want to just go over because then I'll forget my thoughts. This is the problem right here. When you have someone that says, oh, I look at the category and it's the same people over and over. There's the red flag. The fact of the matter that the Grammys tries to act like they're so progressive, but y'all continue to award or reward the same fucking musicians over and over and over again. You'll throw somebody we ain't never heard of, like that R&B, that guy in the R&B category that beat Chris Brown, that he was all mad about, that I ain't never heard of, but I didn't go on a whole rant about that I ain't hear of him. Chris Brown did. But there's people that just like, Brandy Carlisle, yeah, I've heard her name floating around, but I ain't never listened to music like that. That's music for lesbians. Shout out to y'all. No shade to the lesbians, but that ain't my judge. Pink likes her. A lot of other people like her. I'm not saying Pink's a lesbian, but that's kind of like that whole situation. So hearing that's ridiculous. Oh, I'm not going to vote for these people because they always win. Beyonce always win. I'm sick and tired of her always getting awards and always winning and always won this and always won that. But is that her fault though? First of all, we all know like the only reason why the Grammys probably wants to reward Beyonce because they want them damn ratings. Speaking of which, I didn't even bring this up. The Grammys nabbed 12.4 million viewers, which is the biggest audience since 2020. So having Beyonce there with all that drama about, where's Beyonce? She late. She stuck in traffic. Although everybody else got there on time, but she was, late for some reason or another. So with that situation, having Bad Bunny open the show, and then the hip hop tribute and the Motown tribute and all that stuff, I didn't know if I was watching the Grammys or if I was watching the BET Awards. That's what it felt like. So in a way, the Grammys to me, even though it was very entertaining, it felt like y'all were just trying to use people of color for your ratings, but you don't want to reward them with the big rewards. And this is why I said, like, why do y'all always want to just have the Taylor Swifts, the Beyoncés, the this and that getting nominated? But there's so many other artists out here that y'all could be nominating, but don't see it for them. And then don't give me the shit about record sales, because we all know the Grammys ain't about record sales. It's not. It's always about, I guess, music credibility and kissing babies and shaking hands. So another voter described as a music business veteran in his 70s, child, you need to retire, was accused of shading Beyonce and the response of her projects, and the response the projects have received, saying with Beyonce, the fact that every time she does something new, it's a big event and everyone's supposed to quake in their shoes. It's a little too pretentious. They also criticized Harry Styles admitting to holding his boy band days against him. Now, see, this is what it is. It's like people are voting based on bigotry and ignorance rather than voting for the person they look at as the most talented. Now, of course, when Beyonce releases something, it's a big event. And saying it's a big pretentious. Isn't that the point? Like, if you're a mainstream artist, if you're an artist in general, don't you supposed to do like this big extravagant rollout of your music? Otherwise, how would we even know? I was talking to production earlier. They were talking about, did you hear Bob the Drag Queen drop the new album? I was like, no. I mean, I knew that Bob dropped the video a couple of weeks ago that I posted on my website. And I did get an alert that they dropped a new video this week, but I didn't know the album was coming out. Now, I know Shea Coulee got a new album coming out because I reported on that on my website. But a lot of times it's like the big rollout and the promotion doesn't get the exposure. But with Beyonce, it's like, yeah. Or any major artist. Shouldn't there be a big rollout? Why is that considered a bad thing? And Harry Styles has proven that he is beyond the whole boy band thing. And I think people need to stop looking at boy bands as like they're just, I think it's just in their head. A lot of times boy bands look at it as sort of, oh, they're this manufactured thing. Because 9 times out of 10 they are. A lot of times they'll get lumped together by some Svengali. Oh, we're gonna make you do this and this and this and this and sell your products to these little horny ass teenage girls who don't know what to do with their damn hormones and their emotions. So we're trying to, bring you into all of this, but someone like a Harry Styles or anybody who can transition out of the whole boy band thing and as a solo artist, if I've proven myself to really be giving you what needs to be given as far as really taking the craft and the art of creating music seriously, my prior life as a boy band member should not be held against me. And if you're going to do that, you can kind of go fuck yourself. I just wish a lot of these artists had it within them to realize, like, you know what, these Grammys aren't the end all be all. It's great to have one. It is a great, accolade to be able to walk around and be like, I have a Grammy. But the question remains, the way these people's acting, is it even worth it these days? Is a Grammy worth the wait? WEIGHT is what I'm talking about. Is it even necessary to have a Grammy? Or does it hold the weight of like how it did when I was growing up? Like, the Grammys meant something. Now it just seems like it's a damn joke. So additionally, a 30-something female singer voted for the second time believed Adele and Beyonce's award-winning reputations were a hindrance, saying, I didn't vote for either Adele or Beyonce in any of the top categories. I love Beyonce's album and I have been a fan of Adele, but I feel like they have already won a lot of Grammys. A music manager who has been a Grammy voter for 50 plus years had this to say about the Album of the Year category, saying, Kendrick Lamar, he's so big, but that record doesn't sound like he was looking at anybody else's record. What the fuck does that mean? That record doesn't sound like he was looking at anybody else's record? Well, that's because that's his record. Why would he be looking at anybody else's record? What are you thinking? You need to sound like anybody? I'm confused by that. But anyway, whatever. This music manager worked my root canal. Now, when I first heard this article, when I first read this, I'm like, who is this fucking idiot? But let me finish because it gets worse. Bad Bunny was by far the most commercially successful album of the year, but I think a lot of people have no idea who Bad Bunny is. Just like when Despacito was the biggest song of the year and didn't win. Now, we'll unpack that. Okay, we'll unpack that in a second. But I got to get to this read. So you kind of get a little bit of points now because this next read was a cackle. He followed that up by saying the Coldplay record is an atrocity. I don't know who that record is for. I don't think 12-year-olds want to hear Chris Martin. I definitely don't think Coldplay fans want to hear BTS and Selena Gomez. Bitch, I tell you, when I heard that, I lied. I died, I cried, and died again. Because it's a fact. Anyway, I mean, but then again, why are we always catering music to fucking 12-year-olds? What the hell do they know about music? I didn't know what the hell I was thinking when I was listening to music growing up. It was just like, I like to listen to music. Whatever. Coldplay has always been an atrocity to me, but that's a whole nother conversation. I never felt for that. But this whole thing about you talking about, even though Bad Bunny's recent album was the most commercially successful album of the year, but you're saying people have no idea who he is, and then you're comparing him to Despacito. Despacito, in my opinion, even though I love me some Louis Fonsi, that song did feel very much, damn, how do I describe it? Very paint by numbers. It felt very much like the Macarena or something in that, like remember I was talking about the Latin explosion, like something like a fad. That's what I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It felt very faddish. Bad Bunny to me is not a fad. His success is not a fad. To compare that to Despacito or anything else, it's kind of you're selling him short as an artist, and you're selling his music short. So for you to say that, it's just like, so who are you talking about, Willis? Where you sit and say, I don't think people have any idea who he is. You mean non-Spanish speaking people? You mean white people? Is that who you're getting to? Because a lot of people trust and believe know who Bad Bunny is. You ain't talking to the right ones. See, these people apparently, who these voters live in y'all damn bubble, and you're out of touch. It's quite obvious. They said the Recording Academy's nomination and voting process has long been criticized. However, social media has brought more of these complaints to the forefront. We're seeing more artists choosing to boycott the ceremony or not submit their music at all, a la The Weeknd and Drake. Yet we're seeing those artists take home the gold regardless of their submissions or attendance. So, how do they prevent their music? If they're like saying, I'm not registering my music, I don't want the Grammy. How is a Drake and The Weeknd winning? Still, that's what I want to know. Now, that's an artist. If I'm protesting and I'm not submitting my shit, I should not still be winning stuff. So I don't know. So it's just like, so to me, it's like, it felt like y'all just did the whole Beyonce not winning a Grammy out of spite. That's what it felt like. The album of the year. I know a lot of people said, well, you should be glad that you won a Grammy because, you know, she got her 32 Grammys. She's very successful. She's, you know, the most decorated award winner alive. You should be grateful. Oh, so you just give me a little bit of crumbs and I'm supposed to be happy. Same thing with Bad Bunny. He wins the Urban Latin Award? I can't remember the exact thing, but he won in the urban category, which I knew he was going to win. Over Daddy Yankee, who released his final album, Legend Daddy. I would have loved to have seen Daddy Yankee win it because he's a pioneer, but we knew because Bad Bunny is the biggest artist at the moment, they were going to give it to him. So I knew he was going to win that award. But album of the year, we can't give it to him because nobody knows who he is. So that's that overall attitude. So now it's like every time I watch the Grammys this year, or in years to come, if y'all can still keep it, you know, as great as y'all did this year, I'll keep watching. But the politics behind winning these awards, it makes me look at y'all sideways. I got to give y'all the side eye with that. So that whole y'all need to reevaluate who y'all got voting up in this shit and get them out because y'all a mess. So I would love to know what y'all guys think on this whole situation with the whole Grammy voting and all that other stuff, because this is crazy and it's unfortunate. This is how these people are voting, and this is the way they're treating artists because y'all don't like certain things that they're doing. It's a problem. But whatever, child, I'm over it. Great show though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's get to this final topic, and then we'll go and take a break. Because, we still talking about Miss Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter. So when it comes to the music and the demand of her concert tickets, Beyonce is the baddest chick in the game. However, when it comes to the world of fashion, not so much. Now, shout out to the Wall Street Journal for this story. Beyonce's fashion partnership with Adidas has produced weak sales of her Ivy Park clothing brand, according to documents and people familiar with the matter, leaving a roughly $200 million hole in the company's annual projections. Now, sales of Ivy Park tumbled by more than 50% to about $40 million in 2022, coming in below internal Adidas projections for $250 million in sales that year. Now, documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal show. The documents show Ivy Park has been losing money for Adidas, and Beyonce gets about $20 million in annual compensation. The contract between the pop star, whose full name is Beyonce, I just done said her name, is Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, and the German sneaker giant is set to end after 2023, and Adidas executives have discussed either ending or revamping the arrangement. More than likely, if she loses all this money, I think they're going to end the arrangement. Unless Beyonce and her team can come up with some clothes that outside the beehive, and the people who got all that money to just be buying, her Ivy Park stuff will want to purchase. Now, Adidas said that the Ivy Park partnership is strong and successful and declined to discuss its financial performance, saying we continue to be inspired by our collective vision and are proud of the work we have created together. Beyonce spokeswoman did not respond to requests for the comment. Now, it's funny how she has 300 million Instagram followers. And a lot of times, with Adidas, I guess they think by partnering up with major celebrities, like they had Kanye, right? Then they do something with Kanye and that shit folded because, the anti-Semitism. And then you got Beyonce, who you think has like such a reach. And everything she does is is impactful, which it is with the music, but not when it comes to other stuff. Because honestly, I don't know many people who wear Ivy Park, and I know she gives a lot of it away to her celebrity friends. We need to start making their ass pay for it. But then also, I know I saw some people was asking, how is she not selling when her stuff sells out immediately? Well, that's always the first print. You have to realize fashion is a lot like the music industry. When you do those first week sales of movies, first week sales is everything. You could sell out stuff the first week, but you have to keep recreating the product. And when you recreate the product, you got to continue to sell it. So the more prints you make, the more you sell, the more revenue. If people are not buying your products, you're going to lose money. So I've heard a lot of people say her stuff is too expensive. The Ivy Park stuff is expensive. And that's another thing too. Like a lot of these celebrities, y'all do stuff and put y'all name on things, but y'all really don't think smart. Y'all don't think Jessica Simpson. Y'all need to do some retail prices. That's why her fashion industry empire is able to last as long as it has. Because, or when designers put their stuff in Target or and all these other places, y'all can look down on it all you want. But times is hard, bitch. We almost in a recession. People are struggling to pay their bills. We got this situation going on where, inflation, food is too damn high, the gas done went up. And so Beyonce got to think about it. It's like, did people still pay $1,300 their month's rent for some damn Renaissance tour tickets? Or do we buy Ivy Park? Or do I got to eat oodles and noodles for a month because I got to make ends meet and I still ain't paid my damn rent? So there's a whole situation there. And why does this kept? Can we talk? I ain't never see Beyonce as a fashion girl. The fashions don't be given. Remember House of Diarrhea that she did with her mother? Them clothes was a mess. And then, you know, then she has the Ivy Park stuff. Yeah, some of the pieces is cute, but the clothes did never seem like it was given. Y'all just because it's Beyonce, that's supposed to be enough. But if the fashions ain't given, I'm not paying for it. I don't care who made it. I don't care if Jesus Christ came off that cross and decided to be a designer tomorrow. If the fashions ain't given, I'm not buying it and I'm not wearing it. But at the end of the day, she'll be all right. She got more money than she could count. She about to go on this tour and kill it and make millions of dollars doing that. So it is what it is. And good luck, Beyonce, because I guess you're going to need it. But also go to show that, you know what, when you attach your name to a fashion house, it's not enough for people to buy your product. That's all. So let's take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Woman King director calling out the Oscars for contiguously black women. We're going to get into some tea on it's coming back to 90 minutes next month in March. We're going to talk about that. Malaysia Babydoll Fox was on this season of Drag Races calling out racist trolls for online attacks. And we got some GLAAD Media Awards tea. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of the rundown with moi, Chris Ablon. It's some Ivy Park fashions. The child look like a damn pumpkin when them clothes. Like y'all took the pits out the pumpkin and dressed them kids in it. But if you like it, I love it.
incredible recognition. I'd like to say thank you to all of my fans out there in Britain for your continuous support over the years. And the Renaissance begins. I'll see y'all on tour. Thank you so much for this honor.
Ru.
Cue the sniper. It's a lot of
Yeah.
times, I promise.
If you don't keep your word, you create negative space.
Yeah, because Jesus whispers in my ear the things he wants me to say, and I say it out loud.
Like Joan of Arc.
Not nigger.
Exactly. Like everything. You can just say, Jesus made me say it, and Jesus made me do it.
Yeah, because he did. And what WD-40? No, not WD-40. That's why I use on my wheelchair. WWJD. What would Jesus do?
Do you have T-shirts to say that?
I do.
I think you should have them, and with your picture on them.
You know what you're
I think they'd be a big seller.
WWTJD. What would Terry Joe do?
Who's Terry Joe?
Huh?
Who's Terry Joe?
Or you about to say, who's Terry Joe?
Oh, should I not know? Should I know? Who's Terry Joe? Oh, you're Terry Joe. Oh my God.
You're literally speaking to her.
I'm sorry. I just know your stage name.
If I was 80 years old too, I would be forgetting people's names too.
Well, then you understand.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
And we are back. Oh, I had to fix my hair for a second. Oh, baby, let me fix my weave. Remember that Missy Elliott song? Oh, speaking of which, the commercial y'all saw in the thing, I had a cackle. Someone was like, because I remember, like, so you saw the Bowie-esque latex outfit that Sam Smith wore on the red carpet, right? Which, in my opinion, was fashion, but he shouldn't have worn that. I mean, they shouldn't have worn that. It looked a mess on them. Because it's like, if you're going to wear something like that, you got to own it. You got to bring the facial, like, you need to give some type of, you need to own it. Like, be up in there, give that Jennifer Lopez, like, you need to give that with the face. He drama, extravaganza. Like, you need to be giving that with the face. His face always looked the same. Like, you look like you bored. Like, why are you there? Like, he always has the same look on his face, which irritates me. So it's just like, if you're going to wear outfits and you want to, they always say, wear the outfit, don't let the outfit wear you. It always feels like Sam Smith's trying so hard to come out and wear these crazy outfits. Like, he's going through his gaga. They're going through their gaga moment right now. So, with that, somebody online went and said the shadiest shit and had me cackling. Because you saw the Missy Elliott thing. Someone called them Sissy Elliott. When I heard Sissy Elliott, I said, oh no. I had the biggest cackle. It's like he was giving Sissy Elliott child. But that was hilarious. And then Terry Joe. Terry Joe is a kiki. I live for her. I follow her on TikTok. She is a kiki and a cackle. But anyway, welcome back to the show. I just had to have that. I just had to say that. Hold on, let me get this little. I had some water earlier, but I'm gonna throw a little parched again. Let me get some of this good old Evian up in me. House of Evian before we get into this next topic. Okay, so let's talk about the Woman King. So the Woman King director, Gina Prince Bythewood, is calling out the Academy. So there's a lot of awards tea today. For continuing to overlook Black women, including the film star Viola Davis. She says the Woman King being overlooked is a reflection of where the Academy stands and the consistent chasm between Black excellence and recognition. Now, in a first-person article for The Hollywood Reporter published on Tuesday, Prince Bythewood reflected on the exclusion of her film by the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, the governing body responsible for the prestigious awards, which she says left her disappointed. But the Academy, and here's what she said, but the Academy made a very loud statement, and for me to stay quiet is to accept that statement, she wrote, adding that she rejects the term snub in reference to the Woman King because a snub is if it missed out on a category or two and her film was not nominated for one single craft. Now, Prince Bythewood said that she agreed to speak up on behalf of Black women, but who also had their work overlooked this year, like director Shanoni Chukwu and actress Danielle Deadwyler of Till, and for those who haven't even stepped on a set yet. She wrote that The Woman King, which is on track, by the way, to pass $100 million at the global box office, not being nominated for any category is a reflection of where the Academy stands and the consistent chasm between Black excellence and recognition. And sadly, this is not just an issue in Hollywood, but in every industry. The director was behind 2000's Love and Basketball and 2020's The Old Guard, which I told you earlier was a favorite movie of mine right now. Also made reference to the controversy surrounding Andrea Riseborough's surprise nomination for Best Actress, which some felt led to Davis being left out of the category. Here's what Bythewood said. My issue with what happened is how people in the industry use their social capital, screenings in their homes, personal calls, personal emails, personal connections, elevated status. Prince Bythewood wrote, people like to say, well, Viola Danielle Deadwyler, who did not earn, okay, this is their mistake. There's a glitch in the matrix on what they wrote. Who was also not nominated. I'll say it as that. Had studios behind them. But we just very clearly saw the social capital is more valuable than that. Riseborough's eyebrow-raising nomination was held up by the Academy following a review of the film celebrity-backed grassroots campaign. Now, Prince Bythewood lamented that there is no groundswell from privileged people with enormous social capital to get behind Black women. There never has been. For its part, the Academy has made efforts in recent years to expand and diversify its membership following the uproar over #OscarsSoWhite and the movement spearheaded by April Reign. Now, in 2020, the Academy put in place a rule that movies must meet a certain criteria in terms of representation in order to be eligible for the Academy Award for Best Picture beginning in 2024. CNN has reached out to both representatives from Prince Bythewood and the Academy for comment, and so far we haven't heard anything. Now, I did allude to this a couple of weeks ago about Andrea Riseborough and the fact that I forgot the name of the movie, but it's a little known movie that nobody saw at the box office, where she plays a woman who won the lottery and becomes an alcoholic and burns through all her money, and she's got issues with her son. And I have to say, I looked at the trailer was gripping. She was acting her ass off up in there. I'm like, I want to see this movie. However, what Prince Bythewood is saying, I do agree with, where there's this situation that we have in Hollywood where people are using their social capital. Andrea Riseborough knows a lot of celebrities, Gwyneth Paltrow, and a couple of other celebrities who use their social capital to make phone calls, to push through, to use their clout to get this girl an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. That's what they're talking about. Viola Davis and Danielle Deadwyler can't get on a phone and call their celebrity friends and get them, to get the Academy to move and shake and get them a nomination. Because Black people don't have that kind of capital in Hollywood. There's very few Black people who have that capital. Will Smith, because he's one of the biggest stars on the planet right now, he's an Academy member, but he's kind of burned that bridge because he's been banned for 10 years. So nobody's going to listen to him. You got Denzel Washington. Samuel Jackson, I believe, has maybe some kind of clout where he can make a couple of phone calls because he's been in 100,000 damn movies. It doesn't work with everybody. So there are very few people in the industry that you can call and get those same people to move and shake and get them these awards. But I don't think, like what Prince Bythewood said, Viola Davis, yeah, she's been in the business for over 20-something odd years, but she doesn't have that social capital where she can go and get people to vote for her in that way. People of color have to work twice as hard to get those nominations. And yes, I do think it's great that we have some people of color that were nominated. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Michelle Yeoh for Best Actress. The rest of them is white women. And I love Michelle in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Do I think that Danielle Deadwyler deserved the nomination for Till? I don't think the movie was all that great. It could have been better in a lot of situations. But Danielle Deadwyler acted her ass off in that damn movie. She deserves an Oscar nomination. I also think that Viola Davis, I loved The Woman King. Loved that movie. I actually bought it. That's how much I love it. There's certain movies, I took a risk and bought it because I didn't see it when it was in the movies. So as soon as it ended up on demand, I purchased it, paid $25 for it. Speaking of which, sidebar. The AMC, y'all working my goddamn root canal nerve. Y'all really are. We're going to get to that in a second. I'm going to hold that, but I want to continue this. So do I see that there's a problem with this? Yeah, we still got a long way to go in regards of Hollywood and the Oscars. And y'all having to fix this BS and politics y'all got floating around up in there. Like, y'all really need to work out whatever it is that y'all doing here. Because this is a mess. And the fact that Black actresses continue to be overlooked. The Woman King was a great film. Nominated. What, y'all think that people won't be able to relate to the story that's about this movie, The Woman King? That at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it's about this tribe of women who were security and warriors for their tribe. However, the bigger story was about womanhood, motherhood, and if you ain't said, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a whole little twist up in there, and the politics and other stuff. It's a great film. So there were so many other nuances and themes in the movie that it's like, yeah, there's some Oscar nominated type topics, acting, emotional beats, all of that stuff is in that film, and it shouldn't have been overlooked. I understand there's only a certain amount of movies you can get in there to get nominated, a certain amount of people that can fit a category. I think there's only 5 women allowed to get up in that category. A lot of performances had to be done, but we can't deny the fact that, yeah, when there's a movie that nobody saw at the box office that only made a couple of $1,000s at the box office, you get an Oscar nomination because you basically use your social clout. So I applaud Gina for speaking out, because the only way things are going to change is if people put it out there on Jump Street and speak out about it and not sweep it under the rug. Those days is all long gone, where we can't bring things up and talk about it. So shout out to Gina. The Woman King is a great film. And you know what? Sometimes, like we said before, you know what? Why don't we, with all this complaining and not, should I say complaining? Because it's not really a complaint. It's revealing some shit about the shadiness and the politics of these award shows. We keep having the same conversation every year where we want to push and make those changes that are long overdue within the Grammys, now within the Oscars. The Oscars is almost 100 years old, and we're still slowly moving in the right direction, which in my opinion is ridiculous. So do we kind of give an FU to these award shows like the Grammys and the Oscars, and do we create our own? I know you could say it's the BET Awards, it's not the same. We could say it's the NAACP Awards. I don't know if we call it that, but we need our own music award, like prestigious music awards for Black people, prestigious award show, television and film for Black people or people of color, where anybody can come in. Black, Asian, Latino, you name it. If you're a person of color, we have an award show that caters to that market. LGBT, we need that because the Oscars continue to overlook the real movers and shakers and the Grammys too. So that's what we need. Because remember, when American Bandstand wasn't putting black folks and stuff on their shows, we had they created Soul Train. When MTV refused to put black people on play black people music videos, because remember there was a point where they didn't want to put Michael Jackson videos on their damn shit. A black man went and created BET. So maybe we need to do that with these award shows. Somebody's got to have that money. Tyler Perry, you got $300 million. You got that big ass damn studio. Create an award show. You got the coins. Maybe you and Diddy can get together. He got Revolt. I don't know. We need to create something, in my opinion, because if these award shows aren't willing to shape up, then we need to ship out and go where we're wanted. We got to stop looking for that validation when the people that we seek the validation from don't validate us. So before I get to the next topic, I'm kind of peeved. First of all, AMC, we're not going to get into this conversation about the fact that y'all trying to play yourselves with this whole, we're only going to charge you based on where you want to sit now, because they trying to do that with the theaters. Y'all saw the articles on my page. I broke it down. There's a whole situation there. Adam Aaron's stupid ass, the CEO. I think he was there. He actually was there when I was working at AMC. He was not the CEO when I started working there, but when I was kind of like in the last period of my time being there, he was there, and I noticed the shift that was going around, and things just wasn't working the way it needed to work. I was just like, I'm not the vibe. I wasn't feeling it. So he's been doing a lot of dumb shit, particularly, and now they got this thing where it's like, depending on where you want to sit, they're going to charge you based on the seats, which is going to basically push a lot of people who don't have the money to be going to the theater. Bad enough, tickets are already damn near $30. But then on top of that, I literally had to, basically, it took me 2 hours to get tickets for Scream 6 opening night because the website wasn't updated. I had to hit up one of my closest friends who was a manager at AMC, and he told me, he was like, if the showtime something not up there, they didn't update the thing yet. I said, how they didn't update it? Today is the day where the tickets go on sale. Y'all don't have nothing up there? I said they should have known prior to, because Paramount let it be known that this was going to be happening within, by Wednesday. We're going to drop the new trailer, the Super Bowl trailer, and then that's when the tickets go on sale. Which, shout out, I cannot wait till tomorrow because the Flash trailer is going to premiere during the Super Bowl. So there's a lot of great trailers going to be popping up, and I will be, I'll be working a lot tomorrow night. So I'll be posting up all the latest trailers and all the other stuff that's going on. So I'm going to be busy. It's been a busy week. It's been a lot going on. I've been real busy. I haven't even gone to the gym all week because it was just like so much going on, and I had to be ahead of it. I was even blogging at work. Like, I can do it from my phone. So I'm like screenshotting photos, writing. I'm like, it was a whole headache. It was a lot of work, but bitch did it. So it literally took me 2 hours to get my Scream tickets. I even had to and I don't know, because of the building that I work in, when I'm not doing this, I have another job. I like money. So, based on where I am in the building, it's like the signal is just horrible, especially because I have an iPhone. And I'm like, I'm about to go back to Android because this damn iPhone is like, the signal is just not giving. So I'm having to pull my phone up to the window. I'm like, okay, I need you to go through, like, upload, do something. So I had to literally ask one of my coworkers if they could buy the tickets for me. I had to give them my card. I said, I trust you. Get the card, do the whole thing through the phone. It was a whole process because it was like in between patients and all the stuff I'm dealing with. I'm taking all my stuff and I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to buy these goddamn Scream tickets. And I need a good seat because I wanted to go open tonight. So I will be at the 84th Street AMC opening night, 7 o'clock, watching the Scream 6. They did have one that was the 5 o'clock 3D, but I hate 3D. And I heard that they're giving out posters on stuff. I don't care. I'm not sitting for 2 hours in the fucking 3D glasses on. I can't do it. 3D has always been just a stupid gimmick that I could never get behind. And I feel like that comes from me because all my years of working in AMC, 4 years of my life, which I do not regret because I made a lot of great friends there. Still to this day, I socialize with them. It was just a whole, it was just a whole situation. But yeah, for me working at AMC, I can't do the whole 3D thing. Been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. I hate it. So anyway, that was just my little rant. AMC, get it together with this whole ticket thing because it's stupid. You're going to push people away. People are just going to wait for 3 months at home to watch their little, they'll wait to watch the movies at home or the streaming service, or they'll pay the on-demand thing, $30. You could watch it for 48 hours with the family, all this stuff. Saves a whole lot of money. TVs are getting better. Surround sound's getting better. I can go to the store. I can go to the deli, get some popcorn. I don't need to spend all that money on concessions. You could create your own shit at home. So if I want to continue to go downhill with this stuff, be my guest. But nevertheless, like I said, I got my tickets, so I'm a happy camper. And I'll let you know how Scream was when it comes out. So let's give a huge congratulations to Drag Race, because the gay gods have heard our prayers. And because after countless protests, MTV is set to, in my RuPaul's voice, bring back the 90-minute episodes beginning March 10th. Now, currently in the 15th season, MTV began airing the new installment, as you know. The first episode was 2 hours because we had to get to know the queens instead of the third. Then after that, they started cutting it down to an hour. And in between, they had Drag Race, Real Friends of WeHo, Untucked. Started a whole debacle on social media. People was upset. Particularly, they blamed Frederick Hall over everything that happened, because it was like, y'all know the story. But I'm paraphrasing because we're not going to sit up here for 45 minutes. But then Tyler was all over social media trying to defend it, saying this, that, and the third. What did he say? He said, well, I don't know why y'all blaming us, because he said after 90 minutes, after our little 6 episode show comes to an end, or as I should say, sachets away, y'all not going to be up in here with the 90-minute episodes anymore. It's still going to be an hour. Then I just saw a trailer for some new show that they have coming on after the Real Friends of WeHo. That's going to be in between Drag Race and Untucked. So I guess the following week, I think they just want to get people to watch this show. And then the following week, they're going to kind of expand it and then move it somewhere else. But anyway, there's this new competition series, because I saw it today. I was on MTV, where they're going to have some artists, and they're trying to, I guess the winner gets $100,000. It's a competition show. The winner gets $100,000, and their exhibit gets shown at the Museum of Modern Art, or as we call it, MoMA. So I thought, that's a cute show. I might check it out. 7 episodes. So yeah, Todrick was saying all of this, but then, his post didn't age well, because he said, it's going to be 60 minutes still, but they just did a whole report a couple of days ago that Drag Race is going back to 90 minutes. Which, in my opinion, should have been left alone to begin with. And then one of the people who actually posted, Brandon Wu, who launched a Change.org campaign to bring back the 90-minute episodes. Here's what he posted. He said, "Get ready, racers. Drag Race returns." Well, that's the ad where they posted on their website that the show was going to return with 90-minute episodes beginning Friday, March 10th at 8. But Brandon was like, on February 9th, we did it. We're getting our 90 minutes back. Thank you to everyone who signed and shared this. Although the WeHo show will still get their airtime, I still declare this is a win because, or in my RuPaul, I still declare, but Blair St. Clair, because the 90 minutes was the main reason I made this petition. I guess pettiness does work. What's next? Let's hope we get extended cuts of episodes 3 to 10 in the near future. Let us celebrate on March 10th. And that's what I was saying. You know what? When this happens, and here's the post that about Todrick, what he wrote, saying that, they did not, MTV wouldn't ask RuPaul to cut his or Emmy award-winning hit on his 15th season to accommodate our little 6-episode show. But Maury, I guess, determined that was a lie, because now that your show is ending, it's clearly like, oh, we're going to go back to the 90-minute episode. So they made you look like Boo Boo the Fool. Unless maybe that was the initial thing, but because MTV heard and is aware of the social media outcry, they decided to extend the episodes. But I guess we'll never know. But here's the tea. So when this does happen, I need all of you all that complain and bitch, including myself, we need to sit and really show up and show out and support this show in the 90-minute format. Those ratings need to go through the damn roof, because we've already been complaining. The edits of this season. They cut out the deliberations. RuPaul has said, bring back my girls at all this season. It just feels so like, then it's like, okay, the one judge gets a pun in, or the runways are flying by. We're not really like taking in the runways. So I do hope that when season 15 ends up on Paramount Plus, whenever they decide to upload it, because they're not going to air it when the show is on, that what they'll do is they'll take those episodes, like they said, from episodes 3 to 10, or is it 2 to 10? Oh, wait, first episode, second episode, that was a 2-hour premiere. So it's 3 to 10. And basically expand on those episodes, so we'll get more screen time with the queen, like shit we never saw. Kind of like how they did with the real or the challenge, the shit you never saw. So hopefully they'll do that, and we'll get to really invest in the ratings. I guess will go up when it airs on Paramount Plus. So shout out to Drag Race, MTV. Y'all, I guess y'all thought y'all played yourself. You didn't realize what you had, but the fans had to remind you. It was like, what you're not going to do is play in our face and play with this long-running show. Because MTV is notorious for taking something that has had a long history and a long successful career, and they'll try to sabotage it for the newest, latest thing. Because they've always thrived on that. What's the next big trendy thing? And they thought the Real Gays of WeHo was going to be that. And it could have been, because the show is what it is, and hold your tomatoes, but I am still watching the show. Because I'm nosy, and I'm curious of what's going to happen with the show. So I already watched the first episode, so let me just see where this goes. I've come to the realization I don't like Dorian Renard. This recent episode, he irked my spirit. He and Joey made up, but he's like, oh, I did it. I was being fake. I did it because for the cameras and that. So I was like, ciao. And his overall attitude on the show, which is like, you don't want to be there. That's what it's giving me. Well, bitch, with your stank ass attitude, we don't want your ass there either. Oh, so this is the amount of people that's watching the show? Maybe if they put it on Paramount Plus, those numbers will go up higher. So this is basically the 18 to 49 demographic. 194,000 viewers are watching Drag Race. Honestly, I don't even know what these numbers mean anymore, because I don't even know what is considered a success in the eyes of television now. Is it the old guard of ratings, I guess, doesn't really work? I'm not sure. So is 142,000 viewers enough? Is that a hit? Is that successful? I mean, reality shows are relatively cheap anyway to produce. But it is successful because the show trends a hell of a lot on social media. MTV couldn't, you couldn't buy this kind of publicity. But anyway, so let's talk about one of the season 15 queens, Malaysia Babydoll Fox, who is calling out racist Drag Race fans for their constant bullying. Now, shout out to Out for this team. Following Mistress Isabel Brooks dealing with fat-phobic attacks and getting her Instagram deactivated multiple times, the next target among this loud group of fans has become Malaysia Babydoll Fox. The Miami queen wrote the following on Twitter. Happy Black History Month. If you are a supporter of me, please don't send Marsha hate. These clowns do not represent her, just exposing keyboard thugs. I dare you to take a trip to Miami. I guarantee it'll be a permanent stay. Hashtag, I'm on that. That's what I said. A lot of these girls, a lot of these online bullies, these keyboard warriors, would never say the shit that they say online to your face. I've seen it firsthand how a lot of people talk out the side of their mouth. They talk all that shit. But if you see them in person, they want to autograph, they want to kiss your ass, they want to do all these things. A lot of these people ain't about that life. And to me, when I watch these shows, oh, don't worry, I get all caught up in the drama and I get heated with certain situations, but I leave it there. I'm watching the show, I'm interacting, I'm yelling at my TV like everybody else, but I don't feel the need that I need to go on social media and tweet out, oh, you ain't shit, kill yourself, and all this other crap. Like, what is the point of saying all of that? I don't get the need to have to go online and be negative towards somebody y'all don't even know. It's a show. And one of the things I love is that I posted a video earlier of Gia Gunn in the workroom, and this is like the very first episode of her season, which I think was season 6, season 7, the one with Bianca Del Rio won. That was a good damn season because they had all the good queens on that one. They had some strong queens. And Gia Gunn was being shady as fuck. I don't back the gun. I am the boom boom gun. The iconic line. That should be. Is that on the t-shirt? But anyway, because she called because Bianca called her Kimora Lee Kardashian. But anyway, excuse me. I was like, I miss the shadiness of like when we had queens like Gia Gunn on the show. And to me, Malaysia, well, not necessarily Malaysia, Mistress Isabel Brooks is giving that. She knows when to bring the shade. She knows when to stir the pot. And it's all entertaining. And people need to realize when it comes to drag and when you're in those rooms, you get those queens that throw shade, that make their little comments, that cuss each other out and banter back and forth. That is a thing that is done at countless nightclubs, behind the scenes, all of that stuff. So when you're seeing this play out on TV, a lot of times these girls are bringing that whole club camaraderie into the show. And I think a lot of these people that are on social media with their little faves and I like this, or I like that, I don't like that you picking on this girl that I like, blah, blah, blah. They want to be quick to defend. And strong black queens on these shows that are opinionated and have something to say. Y'all want to send death threats, you want to bully, and you want to pick on them. And it's always the queens of color. The white queens could do no wrong because y'all love basic ass Marsha. I'm sure she's a good competitor, but she ain't standing out to me on this show. The ones who are standing out to me, Mistress Isabel Brooks, I could definitely see her making it all the way to the end because she's slaying the competition. This is basically Sasha Colby's drag race. I see her as taking the crown because she's an icon in the drag world. I just saw her perform in Brooklyn recently where she did, oh my God, what the hell's her damn name? She won Drag Race too. Nightgowns. Sasha, oh my God, why am I forgetting? It's another damn Sasha. I said Sasha Colby. We got Sasha Colby, Sasha Velour. No, I forgot her damn name. It happens. Oh, Lady Brain. Anyway, so Malaysia did follow but said, I promise I'm good, y'all. People threatening to take my social media down is stupid. I could care less, but being racist and disgusting using a monkey? Using monkey emojis and fat shaming me is insane. I didn't realize I was fat and black until I got on Drag Race. Okay, it's like, that's the best you can come up with, bitch. And what's sad is that the fact that we in 2023 and black queens still have to deal with this shit. Why do we have to continue to deal with racism, fat phobia, all of this stuff? Like, this show is so progressive. The cast is diverse. We're supposed to be an audience that identifies as liberal. And what I don't understand is that these statements are coming from people who consider themselves fans of other queens competing on the same show. And shout out to Marsha and other season 15 queens who have taken to social media to defend, you know, the ones who are being bullied and calling out those who identify as fans but go on to attack the co-stars. And this is a conversation that we've been having countless times. I'm honestly goodness tired of having this conversation because it feels like, and RuPaul can sit up there all he wants and says, kill the noise, ignore it, go on social media. It's so easier said than done. It's easy for you to do that because you've been in this business for 3 decades. You've been able to navigate through this industry where you could kill the noise, you could shut off your social media, you could avoid going on Instagram and Twitter and all these other places. These girls are brand new, trying to make a name for themselves and have a career beyond Drag Race. It's hard to avoid going on social media and not seeing people coming at you with death threats and tagging you in things and calling you all kind of racist names. And yeah, Drag Race is about celebrating inclusion. There's no room for racism, especially when the show was created and hosted around a Black queen, one of the biggest drag queens on the planet. So I really feel like some of y'all just need to keep y'all damn opinions on social media. Stop tweeting and shit. And just watch the show and realize it's entertainment at the end of the day. And these girls basically are giving you a show. That's what they're there for. So shout out to Malaysia, and hopefully you get through it. It's just sad because you know what? It's like these girls want to come on here and be themselves, and this is why a lot of them self-produce, or they don't want to give their opinion, or they don't say nothing because they don't want to have to deal with the overwhelming amount of bullying they're going to get from people who watch the show. It's like y'all literally just look forward to being a troll. Who is that? That's a thing that y'all want to be proud of, being as a damn troll. Anyway. So shout out to pop music icon Christina Aguilera, global superstar Bad Bunny, and actor Jeremy Pope, who will be honored at the 34th annual GLAAD Media Awards for their contributions to the queer community. Now shout out to Variety for this tea. Recent Grammy winner Bad Bunny, Christina Aguilera, and Jeremy Pope will be honored at the 34th Annual GLAAD Media Awards. Bad Bunny, who was Spotify's most streamed artist in the world last year, will receive the Vanguard Award for having made a significant difference in promoting acceptance of LGBTQ people and issues. 5-time Grammy winner Aguilera will receive the Advocate for Change Award for having changed the game for LGBTQ people around the world, and Pose alum and 2-time Tony nominee Pope will receive the Stephen F. Kozak Award for having made a significant difference in raising visibility and promoting acceptance of LGBTQ people and issues. The award show will be handed during the March 30th ceremony at the Beverly Hilton. So, I agree with this. I do feel like these three are, in my opinion, well-deserving of a GLAAD award because they have contributed so much to the community. And I think that was another reason why I didn't point out earlier why I love Bad Bunny so much, because Bad Bunny, in the genre of music that he does, he took it upon himself to be an advocate for a marginalized community like the LGBTQ community and really put himself out there and fight for LGBTQ rights and give platform to a lot of the issues within our community, which is discrimination and homophobia, because a lot of people, you know, when it comes to within the Latin community, especially, there's this notion that, you know, like with being Black, you can't be gay. It's not accepted. Which is why a lot of artists really don't come out. Like the biggest queer artist in Latin music I could think of is Ricky Martin. You know, people do speculate about Bad Bunny's sexual orientation, but I feel like Bad Bunny is who he is. Like, I don't know if he's gay. I don't know if he's straight. He's said, and I guess in so many ways, that he's fluid, that he could end up with a guy one day. Who knows? And I know he's producing a TV show They All Die at the End for Netflix, which is a queer TV series. He's starring in a movie about a gay wrestler. Who is in it? Diego. Is it Diego Luna or is it the other one? Where he's kissing him in a club or something or another. There's a kissing scene. So there's some guy on guy stuff. No, I'm not going to do that article because we didn't establish if people were going to do that or not. So I just didn't bring it up. But yeah. So Bad Bunny is definitely deserving this. Christina Aguilera has been an ally for the community. You know, she's been an advocate for our community, and using, you know, pushing conversations around acceptance and more through her music. So she is an icon. This is definitely a well-deserved, you know, award. And Jeremy Pope has been breaking barriers across Broadway, TV, and film. He's got his 2 Tony Award nominations. He's got also Grammy and Emmy nominations. He is someone who is definitely on the rise in regards to his career. And, you know, he is definitely striking up conversations about being an openly gay actor, Black especially, in Hollywood, because not a lot of Black men are out here living their truth out loud and proud. There's very few. Particularly, Coleman Domingo is one I could think of. Jeremy Pope is another one. We got Billy Porter, who I just saw was performing at the Atlantis Cruise. He was over there. I don't know what's going on with Billy, but Miss Mama, you sound like you're losing your voice. She been sounding a little hoarse lately. And that voice was cracking when I saw that performance. And I got a couple of friends that's on that cruise line. Speaking of which, there was an article that came out recently, and I posted it on my social media about how Atlantis Cruise is getting upset because a lot of y'all are recording yourselves fornicating on a cruise line. I think there's a lot of adult film stars on there making content, a lot of OnlyFans and Just Fans performers on there making content on their cruise ship. And to me, I look at it as like, that's some free publicity. Why wouldn't you want people up in there clapping them cheeks and laying it low and spreading it wide on camera in y'all situation? I'm out there a whole week. You don't think I'm gonna just be pulling up my phone and recording myself fucking? You know these queens don't listen. They can find any moment to present themselves as doing whatever they're going to do it. So, shout out to y'all. And yeah, so looking forward to the show when it airs next month. Yeah, so we'll definitely talk about that as close as we get to the premiere, and then we'll talk about it when the award and stuff actually happens. We'll probably play the speeches and all that good stuff, and I'll break down the winners and all that good stuff. So shout out to y'all, shout out to GLAAD, shout out to Bad Bunny and Christina Aguilera and Jeremy Pope. Like I said, no one I can think of any more deserving than those 3. So on that note, we are done with today's show, even though, yeah, I got 5 more minutes, but we'll save the Britney story another time because there's a lot to break down with that. And I ain't gonna be able to break that down in no damn 5 minutes. So, love you all for watching. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Rundown. And yeah, we'll be back next week where we'll break down more big hot topics. Follow me on all my social media platforms, but you can find me at The Chris Avalon. You know, my Instagram, my Facebook, my TikTok, the YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe so we get those algorithms up and running, because, you know, I'm trying to, also on TikTok, I'm trying to go live. So I need 1,000. I'm already halfway there. I need 1,000 followers on my TikTok, so that way I can start actually doing this show live into it, because I really feel like this show will flourish over there, since people catch on relatively quickly over there versus on these other platforms. I'll be playing in my face, especially Instagram and YouTube. So on that note, thank you all for watching yet again. And until next time, ciao, darlings.